Hey guys, Mike here. So obviously we got the big bad bank earnings out of the way today, and of course the market was like, "Ew, I don't know about that one." And there was a couple reasons for that. They were very mixed, and there was something almost each one of them said that kind of spooked certain parts of the market and everything, and you can't blame them, but it shouldn't be a surprise either, by the way. And we're also going to something Elon Musk did, which I think is genius because he understands, like I do, what drives people the most, okay? And he's enacting that now, and I think it's really smart, and I think it actually will pay off and work, by the way, and I'll get your opinion, see if you think the same thing. And then we're going to, obviously, there's always certain things driving the market. I always like to cover them when they come out with you and stuff, and one of those, because people are going, man, earnings can't be that great. It's not about really so much the earnings, it's something else. And I'm going to show you a chart that came out yesterday about this, and you'll kind of be able to wrap your head around it a little bit more, okay? Now, of course, I'll start off with this one, the morning news briefs I give to all the members and stuff. I just told them, look, yeah, it was really mixed, right? JP Morgan looking good. Meanwhile, you got, Wells Fargo, not bad either. But then you got BlackRock, Citigroup, and a few others, not so great, okay? Now, of course, one thing they said was they're putting more money back for commercial loans. Well, who holds 80% of those commercial loans? Regional banks. What happened to regional banks today? They all went red because they hold most of this paper. And if the big banks are putting it back, you can guarantee that's not a good sign for smaller banks, which of course regional banks will report next week, a whole boatload of them. I'll go into Sunday's video for you on that one. Now, understand, why did money start to flow in October? Why does it continue to flow? It's not about really what the actual earnings are going to be, it's what these projections are going to be. And so this is the S&P 500 X energy net income year over year growth, right? And then you see the S&P. S&P goes up, and what did you see there in Q4 2022? Right, all of a sudden, instead of going down, projections started going up, and they continue to go up. This goes all the way out to Q2 of 2024. And if you look at this chart, that's basically what the S&P tends to follow, is these type of projections and stuff, so keep that in mind. Now, what else is going on? Hedge funds flip to short dollar positions, and I told you about this weeks upon weeks ago, what was happening. They were shorting it, and you can see they've decreased, and now, of course, they're going short on it. All right, why have they been doing this, and why are they going to continue to do this? Well, one, because obviously it's been selling off, but it also broke the key level of 100, and it's been under a lot of pressure for a lot of different reasons. There's no reason to get into all the reasons. Feel free to put in the comments if you follow this a lot, and maybe you can educate some people. For right now, just understand it is under a lot of pressure, broke the key level, so of course they're going negative and shorting this thing. And understand, I mean, you look at this trend line, is it going to drop this far? It may take a minute, but eventually it always gets back down to this trend line. If we add in the Qs on this, because everything goes into the Qs, you can see that is a tailwind for stocks, right? The dollar weakened, bam. You saw that anything high beta, anything to do with tech usually takes off when the dollar weakens like this, especially as it continues to weaken and break key levels. Now, another thing that's going on, this is Goldman Sachs Financial Condition Index. What's happening? Hit a new low we ain't seen since August of 2021. Continues to go down. These are just financial conditions loosening, and that's why when the Fed says, well, actually, we're not in restrictive territory really. Well, this is what they're talking about, okay? And this is what drives markets as well. And they see those financial conditions loosening, stocks go up, okay? What else? This just came out today. This right here, S&P 500 versus active manager equity exposure. This is that money on the sidelines, or that was part of the money market funds or bonds or wherever. And you saw their exposure was like 10 to 15% right there. Now it's north of 90% exposure in the S&P, okay? So just keep that in mind. And you can see how they go together. As they pile money in, the S&P keeps going up. As they sell, it goes down, all right? What else is going on? Consumer sentiment, right? This came out today. I said it was going to be higher. Shocker there. It always goes higher when things are going good for the stock market, right? So it's up to 72.6 versus 65 estimated. Prior was 64. So a big jump in consumer sentiment. That's always going to help. And then, of course, what else? You got money being flooded into the economy right now. And, I mean, you see a record amount of construction, manufacturing, spending right now. I mean, we've never seen levels like this before. So, and this keeps going up and up and up. And will continue to go up over the next few years because of that $2 trillion infrastructure bill. So just keep that in mind. And guys, before we continue, if you're getting anything out of this, please hit that thumbs up down there. I really appreciate it. And if you like the material here and the videos, think about subscribing. And I know that was a whole boatload of data just threw at you, but what else continues to take place? And I actually started adding this in just today, so at the end of the week, during these morning news briefs, we get to see where breadth stands, right? And so what happened? I'm going to zoom in here for you. You can see right here the percentage of NASDAQ 100 stocks above the 200 moving average, which is extremely bullish, at 81% today, increased 10% just this week. S&P 500 above the 200-day moving average, 69%, increased 7%. Russell 2000 increased 7% of stocks above their 200-day moving average. So this is bullish. Another way to look at breadth. Also look at those fear and greed indexes right there. That fear and greed index I like to use, it's actually catching up now. It was way apart from the CNN fear and greed index, and now it's starting to catch up and close that gap, okay? And I'm telling you now, if it continues goes up, it gets over 75, it gets towards 80 on the top one right there, yeah, we are definitely getting ready for a turn down. I'm telling you right now. And so, of course, what happened today, what did all this lead to, the bank earnings, everything else, it's just a sell-off across the board, right? I mean, when you see a sell-off across the board, obviously travel stocks, bank stocks, energy stocks, you name it, especially the high beta stuff that's been just on a tear, which was the ARC stock and things like that. These have been doing through insane runs. And, you know, understand, I'll touch on this in a minute, but I just feel like almost 2020, 2021 type vibes. I may be the only one that sees this, and there's a reason for this. I mean, look at these stocks right here. Workhorse, nickel, I didn't even know it's still in business. And I'm going to actually touch base on that one. But, you know, a lot of these just selling off, and it could be profit taking, obviously, because again, what I said in yesterday's video, are we overextended? Absolutely. On so many stocks, a lot of this high beta stuff going up, you know, we're all enjoying the ride, and I appreciate it. But, you know, I'm also realistic, and that's why we keep it on this channel, okay? This ain't a pom-pom type channel. We're going rah, 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 right? We just tell the truth. Now, the Russell 2000, obviously, nice pullback today and led the way. It was like down almost 1.5% at some point in time. Again, still above the all-time high anchor VWAP. I said, hey, let's close that gap. That would be a nice thing to do. Hopefully we complete that maybe Monday or something. Then we get to challenge that trend line, okay? That's what it's all about. The Qs. Again, I'll get in a little more detail on this one, but you see it's just marching up. But it hit that August high and immediately rejected, okay, which is normal. You know, don't think we expecting anything different than that, but it definitely sold off and just basically sold off the rest of the day after that. So a good push up in the middle. But, you know, just understand, obviously, very, very overstretched. I mean, the 50-day moving average is way above that. 200, I mean, it's just completely disconnected from that, even though the 200 is turning up, which is a good thing. What are we, 26%? Yeah, 26% over the 200. That's not a good thing. And then around 10% over the 50. And what I say about 2020, 2021, that's when you're getting these vibes, because you see right here how overstretched it gets right here. And so, you know, I think in this one right here, I think it's 30% maybe in 2020 right there seems to be the highest peak. Yeah, 30%. And so, but again, even it was still touching the 50 multiple different times, but now all of a sudden it's just disconnected from both of them. And this is another reason I say this. Nickel, again, if anybody remembers, this is the one where the CEO got in trouble for pushing a truck down a hill and telling all kinds of lies. If I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to remember back to 2021. But when you look at the stock, it was down over 99%, and now all of a sudden it's up 457% in 42 days. And you can say this is a breakout if you want to. And what's so funny about this is, again, it's like penny stock mania back or something. Look at this. I had to look this up just for my benefit because, again, I thought the company went bankrupt and was gone. But when you look at this, these are the deliveries. Understand these are 18-wheelers, I believe. Look at that. In end of June 30th, they delivered 45 trucks and retail of 66 trucks. And then this is the total, right? Wholesale, 76, retail, 99. And usually, you know, you see something that says, put 3 zeros behind this. No, this is it. Like, this is what they've done. And so I'm like, wow. And again, I get that penny stock mania vibe because a lot of stocks that have gone down from $100 to penny stocks are starting to sit here and bounce back and stuff. And again, you know, I've bought calls, I've enjoyed it and everything else, but it's just a very strange vibe. Let me know how you feel in the comments and stuff. But, you know, I know that vibe. And so it just feels like that's where we're heading right now. And, you know, obviously a real company, UNH, United Healthcare, because they charge us so much for our bills and everything, had earnings and bam. I mean, they just had a great day, up 7-8% at one point in time. And calls for a healthcare company, not a tech company. It's hard to see this, but that line where I'm drawing the arrow, that's the call contracts coming through, right? So higher than it's been in 2023 at any point in time, and it helped obviously push it up. People started really ramping this one up, but, you know, again, they're charging us a lot for our healthcare, and they deserve it because they beat earnings. Now, Tesla, again, we broke out of this bull flag, which is good to see. We tested 276 again, bounced back up. Of course, what do you see? That trend line we talked about, the ascending trend line, that was a brick wall, okay? So again, it got rejected on that one, which really, not a big surprise or anything. And so again, we'll see how earnings go next week. We'll see if it's going to run up into earnings or wait to have earnings and then pop up, which most people have again. Between like 305, 315 somewhere really is where you're looking at, and that little zone right there, that volume gap. If we have good earnings and everything, the market accepts it and doesn't do a sell the news event. Now, something that Elon Musk did, which was genius on himself here, is he actually warned people that the EV tax credit reduction is coming. And he says right here, the notice states that buyers who take delivery of qualified new Tesla and meet all federal requirements are eligible for the tax credit up to $7,500, reduction to current federal tax credits likely after December 31st. And why is this genius? Because he knows like I do. What motivates people more than anything in our society? Fear. That's what you do. Politicians use it in a great way. Bosses use it in a great way. Parents use it with their kids. Fear. The fear of missing out. Right? Ooh, you better go buy that stock now. It's fixing to run up. You better go buy that Tesla now. Or wink, wink. No more EV tax credit. And it might be totally true. It may be. Obviously, you can see they're assuming that's what's going to happen, right? But either way, it doesn't matter whether it's true or not. It's going to get people to say, quite a few people to go, oh, honey, look, this is what we got to do. You know, and so, and with the prices coming down and everything else, watch. We'll see what happens. But I think it's going to work. I think he's really going to put that push to get people out there buying. So again, fear is a great motivator, let me tell you. And then they're not selling this one here, but I saw where they're going to start releasing this Cyber truck inspired electric quad for around $1,670 American in China. And I look at it, I think, man, that's pretty cool. I mean, I don't own a quad or have a place to take it, but any of you guys going to buy that if they bring it to America? And I'd be curious, does anybody know why they're not selling it in America? But again, that's another source of income, I guess, for them. And, you know, looking at one more stock here was Amazon, right? Because a lot of stuff was red. Tesla got green, and then Amazon, of course, was green. Again, it's pushing up into the supply area. You know, still got that gap to fill below. But when we look at it and we pull up here our volume profile and even our moving averages to look at this, see what's going on with the 50 and the 200, you know, you can see, obviously, moving averages look pretty good, even though so it might bounce off that 50 at some point in time be nice. The 200 is trying to turn up on the daily. It's launching off that volume shelf right there. So this can absolutely run. I mean, make no mistake about that. And when we look at the larger time frames, like the weekly, you can see that major gap because it crashed and burned in 2022 and it ran up so fast in 2020. There's just not a whole boatload of resistance going on there. We got so many stocks you're seeing this happen to, right? 2020 straight up, 2022 straight down, right? I mean, it took the elevator, you know, I guess what they did, took the elevator up and they took the elevator down, I guess, really, is what happened. And so that's why you're seeing these stocks. And with Amazon, I mean, it's just one of those things, they're looking at consumer discretionary and going, well, it's supposed to increase. And since I told you that stat yesterday, for those who watched the video, consumer, you know, discretionary is supposed to supposedly have about 27% growth. You take Amazon out, it goes down to 6. So that lets you know most of that growth is supposed to come from Amazon. We'll see if that actually happens or not. But that's what people are saying. And after Amazon Prime Day, they probably looked at it and said, I guess we like Amazon, right? Because we spent a whole boatload of money, over $12 billion in 2 days on Amazon. I spent zero, yes. And a lot of you guys say you spent zero. I just didn't need anything. I buy stuff when I need it, and I don't know. Maybe I need to start saving up for Amazon Prime Day, I guess. Maybe you do save a boatload of money, but nope, sorry, I didn't do it. So, but that's why, you know, you could see Amazon doing that. And you're starting to see that even in the big names, money's getting taken from or profit from these ones that's ran up, you know, 100, 200, 300%, and being pushed down the other ones that got a chance to move up, maybe like a Google, maybe like Amazon, something like that. So that's kind of where we're at on that. But, you know, again, whether it was profit taken, rotation, maybe a pullback, we'll see. I see a lot of people buying puts for Monday, Tuesday. Because again, like I said yesterday, are we overstretched? Yes. Yeah, we are. And eventually, you know, especially the high growth stuff and high beta stuff and stuff that has no business moving up, you know, we'll see what happens. But again, you got to get a breath and some profit taking at some point in time. And some people are up huge, right? And I'm talking about in some garbage dumpster fire companies that I showed you nickel right there. And so, you know, anyway, hope you got something out of it, guys. Hit that like and subscribe button. Tomorrow I actually put a video out. It's not a bearish video, but you see what's moving the market up. And I'm going to show you why on the sentiment charts when it talks about 6 months out, why people are so in the middle going, I have no idea, right? So I'm going to show you like what the economy has is uphill battle. Again, the market is not the economy, as you can see. We're still in multiple expansion, but now we're coming into earnings, and we'll get to see how the market receives them and stuff, because a lot of stuff has been priced in here going forward and everything. Remember, right now we're pricing in a soft landing. That's what's being priced in. Everything's going to go perfect. The inflation is going to come down to 2. Fed's going to cut anyway for whatever reason, and then we're back to 0 rates moving up parabolically. So that's what it is. Now, I'll also show you a chart tomorrow, by the way. If you didn't got it, you need to have it, because this thing's been historically great, okay, and accurate. So just keep that in mind. It can give you a real idea and a real view, so you're not just, you can see the forest for the trees, so to speak, if you ever heard that saying. So anyway, hope you guys have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.